student sprints, are students bringing, parts of what they work on. So these are not just divorce practices. So these are things that Valentin shared this morning, for example, about equity and urban development, the references to the artifacts in the room. These are things that if you walked onto campus, if you found Valentin, you might find him because they're actually working on this right now. And so Andre is going to bring in that topic, and we'll have more about this evening when we talk about, who decides when machines lead, or who leads when machines decide, better. But jumping straight in, Max, over to you. Andre.
All right.
And, of course,
yeah. Well, hello everyone. I would like to start this panel by saying that progress is accelerating all the time. It's becoming faster and faster. And this also sets a question, what is our role within that progress, right? To what extent can we shape it? To what extent can we control it? Should we control it, or should we let progress decide and go its own way? That's why this brings me to a follow-up question, which will be explored by Andre. What is more dangerous? Unregulated AI, which captures this progress, this ever accelerating thing, or a generation which does not know how to use it? Well, please.
Thank you.
Please, applause for Andre.
Thank you very much, Max. So, as he said, what is more dangerous? Unregulated AI or a generation that doesn't know how to use it? The AI race isn't just about regulation. It's about literacy at a population scale. Because even perfect laws fail if citizens can't tell when they're being misunderstood, automated, or misled. So think about this. If every teenager gets AI before they get media literacy, who benefits? The public or the systems shaping them? Here's the truth. AI doesn't make decisions. People do. It has no emotions, no guilt, no responsibility. So when we talk about regulating AI, the question is not only what it should be allowed to do, but how humans, especially leaders, use the power it provides. Regulation isn't just about controlling technology. It's about shaping the humans who utilize it. And today, technology is advancing faster than trust. Some progress is happening. UNESCO and global partners are embedding AI literacy into education, teaching students not just how to use AI, but how it works and where it fails. Human in-the-loop norms are emerging. Teachers, doctors, and professionals are expected to verify AI outputs, not obey them blindly. OECD frameworks and a global partnership on AI are aligning nations around human-centered standards. And civil society is stepping in, training citizens to audit, question, and challenge AI systems. But this progress is fragmented, optional, and uneven. So, what can we do? Imagine an AI driver's license, 3 core skills, and 1 real assessment: verification, bias detection, ethical prompting. Or a seatbelt law for AI in schools, ensuring every student has a baseline safeguard before using these tools. We could even create an AI literacy passport. School AI could use labels assisted, generated, verified, like in nutrition facts for thinking. Leadership is no longer measured by who adopts technology first, but who adopts it wisely. Technology alone is no longer a competitive advantage. Leadership quality is. The gap between human wisdom and machine capability is not tomorrow's problem. It is today's. If leaders don't equip people to use AI wisely, all the power in the world will still be in wrong hands. So the question is clear. Will you sponsor a mandatory AI literacy standard before the next election cycle? Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. I believe that we will have more about this topic in our upcoming debate, where we will have a clash between ideas which were presented by Andre. But however, right now I would like to introduce our next host, Cosimo.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to announce my co-moderators, Anne and Shane, if you want to come up here. Also, Raphael Gilgan. Katrina Salazar. And last, please sit down, feel comfortable. Last not least, Elizabeth.
Okay.
Do you guys want a mic? Like, we need a mic for the live stream, so when you answer.
There, they can
Yeah.
share. And
On, no, yes.
The theme for this panel is youth leadership, policy, and representation. I want to start out with asking Elizabeth a question, which is, what's one youth-to-youth strategy you've seen working for not just turning ideas into conversations, but also into action?
So one thing, I discussed this a bit earlier today, was the creation of Rosebuds, which is a mentorship program I developed at school, where we pair older students with younger students, and it's very personality based, but the whole idea is to learn from each other. The younger learning from the older, and the older learning from the younger. For example, I went last weekend and I learned origami from one of the kids, and from him I helped him with tutoring on math. So it's a two-way process. We both gain something from this experience. And I feel like we're lacking that almost today in society, where the older generation and the younger generation have a big separation. And it's because we have a separation in our knowledge. We've grown up with technology where you have seen technology come to life, and that means we view it differently. And so I think that we can bring back and resurrect this idea of working together and gaining experiences from each other and applying this system in different ways, whether it's through maybe an app creation. We do it through a system developed at school, which is on an app, but how could we do that in a broader space in society? Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, Raphael, you heard about the youth taking initiative. Do you know how maybe companies, larger companies, could also take initiative and start reshaping decision-making in workplaces and institutions so they're also youth-led?
Wow, that is a brilliant question, but unfortunately there are no so many, how to say, examples or blueprints what you could see. But I would say in general, when you went out now and talking to the C-suite in the organization, they are super under pressure because we are in a giant economic shift. So that means, think about a manager of today, he's trained by his thought school, he's embedded in his logic, and this has no, in a way, value anymore. The second thing is there's a lack of assessment. You, like Yadus, we talk so much about future literacy, or like technology literacy, data literacy, and there's a huge lack outside in the organization. And I believe there is the beginning to implement other groups like you guys into an organization. The best thing what I've seen is a German, how you say, Hornbach Baustoffhandel. How you say that? Yeah, do it yourself. There's a German do-it-yourself market called Hornbach, family owned. And they make a program called Hornbach Went to School. So they offer schools whatever they need as equipment for contextual learning. So like at the MIT, when you have an idea, build it. And then the program went vice versa, because Hornbach people join the session at school, and vice versa, the school, the girls and the boys meet the people at Hornbach. And that was for sure not in the beginning the idea, but that show how fruitful it could be.
That's actually very insightful. Also, thank you for the real life example. What about you, Katrina? Do you have any experience of your own with the youth?
I do indeed. Is this on? Yeah. So back to the Rosebud example, which I liked a lot. Thank you for that. So in a small scale, that's a bit like feedback, right? You created a feedback loop between the peer-to-peer mentoring, which is amazing. Feedback is invaluable, and doing it at scale is difficult, in fact, because capturing that feedback in a way, which is the most important part for analysis or assessment, is where we can start to hear voices, not just as noise, but really as a signal, so that we can look at voices from a younger generation as a signal, not just noise going up the chain, right? But allowing it to be seen at every level of an organization. I do have an example for that. I work with the United States Air Force in the accessions program. I work with AFROTC, that's the Reserve Officer Training School. And we're working with youth. We're working with university students that may be commissioned. And we're building a system to do that at scale across the entire accessions organization so that we don't lose those voices at the very tactical user youth level at all. And that feedback changes the intuition, right, that is outdated based on outdated models so that we can make better decisions, so that we help the right youth get into the right positions of leadership. And we help leaders transform and get out of their way. There's a lot more I can say, but I'll stop there.
No,
Hopefully that's helpful.
Continue. It's actually playing off of my next question for Raphael, which was, could you give one concrete mechanism which leaders can adopt today to make the youth more driven, more hands-on?
Wow, I love that. Giving them immediately access to the work you do. Yeah. So, for example, if I would running an SME company which has, I don't know, which invent professional farming machines, to give them immediately access, what is the value of that work? What are the challenges to talking about frameworks, what they believe, what is ahead of us, and how they would engineer or operate a machine. So out of a sudden, to make them responsible. Because in that way, responsibility is something, how to say, you can't switch it off. It is there. And you have to face with that. Yeah, I would do that. For sure, there's these, you know, the internship programs like in Germany, where with 15 years, you have to choose a company and go there. So out of that, I found my first job. I'm trained as a carpenter 40 years ago. You all was not existing 40 years ago. I'm an old man, by the way. and so I start my career. But I would love to start my career at the US Air Force as Maverick.
Maverick is the Navy, just so you know.
El, what about another leadership perspective out of the perspective of students? Where do you see young people taking action?
Personally, I feel like young people are taking action in many different ways, and it doesn't have to just be on a global scale, but I think it starts in your community. It starts at education, and what you learn in an environment where you're having and attaining this education is really where you start to form your beliefs and what you do like to do. Do you want to go into the military? Do you want to be a part of the Navy? Is that where the youth wants to go? Or do you want to put your educational systems into something different? Do you want to actually go into education yourself? And I think fostering a safe environment in educational institutions where the youth feels comfortable to do what they want to do, to explore what they're passionate about, is really important. And we can foster this through peer-to-peer systems like Rosebuds, which I personally have had a lovely experience in. Cosimo is actually also a part of it. We have most of the members in the Black Jackets are in it, and it's just been an incredible experience. But I'd actually love to hear more about what you do, because I'm really interested in military technology, and the youth program is really interesting. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, I saw Shane nodding his head. You were writing something down. Care to share?
I'm a good student. Oh, my head is buzzing, and I had to write it down so I don't forget, because I'm no longer a young student. You said when you started talking about Rosebud, all I could think of is in my 20s, I had this crazy idea I wanted to start a company. Now, for you guys, starting a company right now, cool. When I was starting a company, I broke my dad's heart. He's like, there's jobs out there with health insurance. But the reason I said that is who actually kind of saved me, because I went into it without knowing much, because I didn't go to school to study entrepreneurship, is this woman who is on our board. Her name is Lisa Gable. She's an ambassador. She's now retired. And the reason I bring her up is because she took on the role of becoming not just my mentor, but also my sponsor. And I say sponsor in the sense of she would talk about me in rooms when I wasn't there. She would be very, she kind of guided me through the entrepreneurship process because she had done it. And then fast forward 20 years later, the company's now 20 years old. Ambassador Gable retired, and we're doing reverse mentorship. I'm mentoring her in this part of her career, and it's actually one of the most rewarding things ever because I'm finally able to give back to her. I never in a million years, because I was taught to be very respectful to my elders, people. She clearly has a lot more experience than I do, but there was clearly there were things that she could gain from me. I have that relationship with Carol O'Donnell right there. Carol is someone, and so that takes me back to learning and education. What we're doing here, we're learning from each other. Like, learning is not a process that happens within, the confines of four walls, and it's also a practice. And it's a lifelong practice. And so everything that you were saying brings me back to learning happens everywhere. Just like earlier today we talked about healthcare happens everywhere. And the stakeholders are everybody. It's everyone's business to take care of all of that and to be partners. And so I guess I wanted to throw it right back to all of you, including you, Cosimo, the question of, do you have someone you do reverse mentorship with right now? And where else are you learning besides the obvious? Because we're doing awesome learning here today.
I think for me, it must be my mom, because she tells me about her day, I tell her about my day, and it's mostly filled with school. So I also talk to her about different things I learned in math or in English class, different words, and she also starts using those new vocabulary in, so it's, I'm teaching her something, but then also she's helping me. For example, I'm in the off-campus area from the school now, so I need help with laundry. And the first time, and the first thing I did in that laundry room was take a photo of the machine. Mom, what are these symbols? What do I do? Help. And I think it's something beautiful, reverse mentorship, because you help each other. Like you have a bond. I'm sure all of us have a bond with someone who might be older, but we still learn from them and they learn from us, which I think is such a beautiful thing, because that's also what we're here in Davos with the school. We're young kids, we're the future, and we wanna have something to remember and not just say, yeah, they decided for us. We want to have a say in what's decided for us, and I think the best way to do it is with a reverse sort of mentorship, because we can all learn from each other.
Absolutely. What about you? Who's your reverse mentor?
My reverse mentor. That's a hard one. I would actually even say my reverse mentor is someone my age, probably my friends. I share an apartment with two of my best friends who are here, Maeve, and she's a mentor to me because she knows, again, how to do a lot of laundry and stuff like that, but also she's very planning oriented, and I'm not the most plan oriented person. And so from her, I've learned to be a bit more organized, and I need to schedule my day out. And from me, she's learned to be a bit more spontaneous, I would say, if I were to speak for her. But I think it's also the people you surround yourself with. You're automatically mentoring everyone who's around you, and you don't realize it. And so something that I've always heard growing up was choose your friends wisely. And I think that that's really important, because no matter what age you are, it's the people you surround yourself with that are going to have an impact on who you develop and who you become.
Raphael, you seem like you have something to say.
I want to add something interesting I found out. So I visit, I would say, 100 companies around the world every year, visiting 20 countries in a year. And I always ask myself, what is the secret for success in management? And one secret is they have an excellent couple between a spreadsheet master inside the organization and an artist master. I honestly underrated the artist master. For sure, I'm not a spreadsheet master in person. And I really like what you say and what you mentioned. I think it's so important to find an opposite counterpart to see the world out of different eyes, really in the early beginning, and to understand these values. And I want to add another thing. Maybe you heard about the Magic Mountain, where we are today. And we had an interesting discussion in the sun outside about the Magic Mountain. And I'll let you know what is magic. So I never read the book, by the way. I have seen a documentation about Thomas Mann, and for sure downstairs there is everything about the Magic Mountain. But history, I want to talk about history. History is so important also to get guidance and orientation, because if you understand the idea of the Magic Mountain, it happens today. The society is lost. We have no time for focus. We don't talk to each other, and we are searching for something beyond productivity, money, and all these things. And maybe you ask your GPT, hey, tell me the core value of Magic Mountain. You sleep better tonight.
Thank you so much. If you guys don't have anything else to say, I would like to open it to the crowd, unless anything urgent.
Would you like to? I would like to, because we haven't heard from Shane, but I would like to maybe have a quick moment from you, and then maybe Shane as well. Who's your reverse mentor?
Let's see. I think the downward channel in terms of younger is my son, actually, who's 20, and to be grown up enough to become a friend, definitely a mentor in life, which I'm so grateful for. And then upward, I have an advisor that's much older than me in business, but we've definitely found a way to reverse the stream of feedback and mentorship, and it's phenomenal. It turns out to be like collaboration when you can understand how to communicate with somebody and really learn from their different skill set. Yeah.
Shane, who's your reverse mentor? And don't say it's me.
Oh goodness.
I'm too young for that. Just kidding.
You're younger than me, just barely. Actually, I was a little upset when you brought things the way that you did, because you stole my thing. How dare you? However, there is something about reverse mentorship that I think deserves a little more teasing out real quick, without, like, I'm going to avoid your question. Reverse mentorship feels to me like it's a significant part of the idea of transforming education, UNESCO's thing. And it's also really connected with this age zero sort of formatting and like ideation. I think that with this youth forward age zero approach, sometimes it's easy to think it's almost as if age doesn't matter. And I know that's not necessarily what you're trying to do. You're uplifting youth. Sometimes from the outside it can look like that. When we're talking about reverse mentorship, I think that very often the reason why we need to talk about it is because it's not natural in the way that our society works, in the way that teaching works. We think about knowledge as pouring into a glass. And not only is that making it hard to do reverse mentorship because we're not used to it, but it makes younger people uncomfortable with the idea of actually portraying your knowledge. So as you were saying with Rosebud thing earlier, this idea that there's a lot of knowledge that's very generational. There's stuff that you all know so well because you were like born into this evolving like technology. Then you get folks who are sort of in these other generations, and we're like, all right, a lot of this stuff doesn't come as easily to us. Not only is it knowledge, but it's perspective. And the idea that perspective should go one way and that the value is one way, to me, is antithetical to progress. And so I think that when we think about reverse mentorship and how we make it happen, and how we give young learners agency, whether within systems of education or within systems of communication amongst other generations within an age zero approach, I think that is where a lot of intentional design has to come into play. And that's the only other thoughts that I had. So.
Thank you so much. So if you have any burning questions, anyone from the crowd, otherwise I have a question for you that you might want to answer.
Any questions for?
All right, so my question is, I'd like to hear one action that you'll take and one person who you will invite into a decision within the next 30 days.
How about you?
I think in the next 30 days, I'm going to take the opinion of Rodion into one of my decisions because he's a good friend of mine and I think his advice can be very valuable in decisions that I take in my day-to-day life.
Thank you.
All right, I think we're out of time then. We can have another one.
Yeah.
Please, guys, don't be shy, come on.
Let's hear from somebody from the panel. Somebody from the panel too. Next 30 days.
Next 30 days, anyone? No?
Next 30 days we're here about colleges, so
Active, yes.
we're not sure.
We have a little bit of a cafe problem during 10-10 breaks at Rosenberg. It gets very crowded. It's impossible to sometimes order something. And I'm going to propose a little initiative that solves this problem by allowing pre-orders and yeah.
You're going to get coffees people before the break, so when they come up, you'll be ready with the coffee as a mentor.
Well,
And then have a conversation.
yes.
Fantastic.
Anyone else? Sophia?
For me, my next action within the next 30 days would probably force my friend to fill out some summer applications for basically summer programs. We've been trying to do this for a very long time, but we just can never get to it. And she, in some ways, is also my reverse mentor because we are very similar, but also very, very different in some aspects. So it's kind of nice to think about when I come back to school and I see her again, that we'll just be able to have different effects on each other, like help each other out in different ways. Like I know with some struggle, I have some struggles and some homework right now I need help completing, and I know that when I come back she will be able to help me and she will be able to mentor me and I'll be able to do the same. Thank you.
So you're each other's reverse mentors. That's also beautiful. I want to. Do you have something else to say?
I'm going to take us a whole different direction. You already know, because I've said it a million times, I have kids your age, and when things get really stressful, because I'm in publishing and media, so things are always stressful, my teenagers tell me to just go touch grass, which is their nice way of saying, just go outside and calm down, chill, mom, right? So it's been a very stressful 5 months for us because we've had a lot going on, so my intention is I'm going to go touch literally grass and build a garden for my mom for the month of February. So that's my intention.
A little Valentine's gift.
Yes. But my mom is my reverse mentor. Well, I wanted to say, oh, we have one more?
I have a question for you.
Okay. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you all so much. How about these two amazing co-moderators? Thank you for our speakers. The easiest job of my life to co-moderate with you. Thank you.
I also want to thank each of you. Thank you so much for your insights. It was honestly great having you guys. Thank you, Raphael. Your future Trend Scout instinct. It was amazing to have here. Thank you also, Shane. Thank you, Anna, for your diplomaticness. Thank you so much. If you don't know, they're from Diplomatic Career, so that's why it was funny. And also, thank you so much, Katerina. It was lovely having all of you, also for the thinking we made with, because we're thinking. Sorry. Thank you so much.